You are back in the can, and with me now are the incredible producers and directors for a film called Memphis '69, which is never before seen footage of the 1969 Memphis Country Blues Festival, where some of the most astounding, iconic blues artists in the entire world were captured on film. And to think that is never before seen. Wow. So Bruce Watson, as one of the directors and creators of this project, how did this all start?
Well, I worked for a company called Fat Possum Records based out of Oxford, Mississippi, and we were buying some blues masters from a guy named Gene Rosenthal, and he had shot the 1969 Memphis Country Blues Festival, and in buying the masters, we found out that this footage was sitting in his basement, basically, and it had never been seen, never been digitized, you know, so we bought the rights to the masters, and that's when we brought Joe and Lisa in.
Wow. So to be able to have this opportunity to almost open up this time capsule, what was that like? What was that process like? And then kind of what were the things that you were shocked with seeing or going through this archival footage?
The process was amazing because it was 1969. It wasn't only the music, which was amazing, and the artists who had such personality and just loved their crafts so much, but it was also seeing people from 1969.
Yeah, in the audience, yeah.
Everything that was so different than, you know, seeing the women with their toenails not painted or
and kind of dirty.
Yeah, just it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really amazing footage just to look back on it and say, wow.
Yeah.
We were really astounded, and the music is unbelievable.
It really is, and it gets better every time that we watch it. Like, we're so proud of the movie, and really we fell in love really instantly with the artists, and so we worked really closely with Bruce in terms of choosing who, because it was a 3-day concert, and we boiled it down to about 75 minutes worth of performances. But we worked with Bruce really closely in terms of putting all those together. And what Gene was able to capture was really remarkable. And the footage was, I'm surprised at how good it looks, considering that it was sitting in his basement for 50 years.
Right, and for that time, I'm curious to know from a cinematic perspective, between the footage that he shot, as well as I understand that he shot, what, 40,000 feet of footage, and what does that translate into?
Reels. It was a lot.
Yeah, what does that translate to in terms of,
basically
time right now?
3 days worth of footage.
3 days worth of footage.
Yeah, well, times 3, because there were 3 cameras going. So,
it was a lot to sort through.
It was. And also too, like, the camera notes were sort of, it was like we needed a Rosetta Stone to go through all the camera notes. So actually, like, syncing all the original audio with the film.
The sound was a big issue.
Yeah.
A lot different than now.
Right.
A lot different.
But it was great.
And
that was part of the
harder.
fun of it. We really had a good time going through that. That's how we bonded, I think.
Yeah, I think we did bond over that. Yeah, that was fun.
How many hours was that?
Oh, I don't know. How many? I spent a lot of time doing that before, and then I came up there for a week or two and worked with these guys, so it was good.
He came to Burbank, USA, to make the movie with us there.
California.
Yeah, California. Yeah.
And before this interview, we were kind of discussing what were the memorable moments? You had mentioned kind of the people in the 60s, right? But in terms of the music, right? Which artist was just so fascinating to hear, because, again, this is new footage. This is all archival. This wasn't around.
I think Furry Lewis. Furry Lewis had recorded some 78s in the 1930s, and he kind of fell into obscurity. He was a janitor on Beale Street in Memphis, and he played locally, but there's not a lot of live footage of Furry Lewis playing. So to me, that's the most special part of the film, and just his character just is great in the film. It's just, he plays 3 songs, and it's just amazing, You just kind of get a real essence of Furry Lewis, I think.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
And Joanne Kelly is really awesome.
Kelly's
She's
amazing.
the only female artist in the film, and she's got a voice that you won't forget. Once you hear it, you definitely won't
And then
forget
there's
it.
Booker T and the MGs with Rufus Thomas, which is pretty amazing, because you consider, that's pretty, not Booker T, but it's pretty amazing.
The Barkays.
Barkays,
Yeah.
And the Barkays were playing basically after the whole tragedy happened with the plane crash with Otis Redding. So, and also too, this whole thing was taking place a year after Martin Luther King Jr. had been assassinated in Memphis. So Memphis was very divided at the time. And so to have all these people come together in Memphis and celebrate, and it was the 150-year anniversary of Memphis too, on top of that. So So I guess Memphis now is 200 years old.
Yeah.
And,
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And so it's so great to be able to actually like show this movie and to be like screening it now, 50 years after the actual concert happened.
Well, I think it's also, you know, bringing up the time frame element. You know, we were discussing a little bit that the 60s, you know, that decade was very iconic in terms of all of those challenging moments with, you know, the assassination of Martin Luther King, JFK, Vietnam, all of that.
Right.
Did any of those emotions come out in a different way, right? Obviously, yes, you have the music, but just in terms of some of those moments that were captured with the artist maybe talking to the crowd, the audience, or things like that.
Oh yeah, you can feel it. I think it's really implicit throughout the entire film, actually. And again, it's reflected too in the people who are in the audience, because they're just as big a part of the film as the artists are.
And they're older artists, so
really
you know,
old, some of them.
it isn't something that's overt, but it's something that is you can definitely feel throughout the film, and I think that's really the beauty of the film, to be honest. I mean, it's just there's a feeling about it that you see these older men who've been doing this all of their life, just enjoying it so much
Their
and
elements, yeah.
recognizing that this craft is something that's just really in their heart. And it means so much more to them than anything else that's around. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, and the older blues guys, all of them were gone probably 7 years after this film was made.
Yeah.
They were gone, you know.
So they weren't able to be a part of this per se in terms of.
No.
No, none of them were.
You know, Nathan Bogrove was
giving away
103
something,
years old.
Yeah,
So,
he was 103, yeah.
Yeah,
my
so
gosh.
everybody was gone.
So by the end of the film, you really do get a real sense of how important this film really is.
In terms of
Because we're
keeping that
giving a
memory
voice
alive.
to people that
Right.
probably never were seen before.
I mean, this is literally what you have developed and made is truly a part of history.
It is.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
And so what does that mean, you know, now with the future, moving forward with this piece of history, right? And
Yeah.
presenting it at Slam Dance. And what does that mean for all of you?
We are super
We're
excited.
excited. Yeah, we're excited that someone cares, really.
Yeah, exactly.
We are.
Yeah.
Bruce is right. I mean, I think, you know, every time we think about being here, well, I think about being here, I just say to myself, these artists are being seen. And
Yeah.
I feel so good about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Bruce brought this footage to us and that we were able to be a part of it and that now they're being seen. And people haven't seen them before. How great for them. I know they're not around, but they're maybe somewhere seeing it.
Oh, they're
It's
watching.
amazing.
They're watching.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm just, I feel so honored to be a part of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
And that people recognize it. It's awesome.
yeah, and it's always great to be able to have really great people to collaborate with, and Lisa and Bruce have been awesome during this process, and also too, like the fact that, you know, when you get, for us, because we actually do quite a bit of work, a lot of the time when you get done with something, it's in the rearview mirror. Like you're done with it and you're on to the next thing. But it's nice to be able to, like we finished this movie about a year ago, and Lisa had the tenacity to get it out there so that people, you know, that we could get it into festivals. And so now that people are watching it and really loving it, it's pretty awesome to be able to actually like continue on with something as opposed to just putting it behind us and continuing to move on.
Right. So would you say, because why don't you give a quick highlight of your company as well and kind of the notable individuals that you've worked with, and then, you know, would this be kind of in the archival of things that really mean a lot to you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. It would
Yeah.
be. Our company is called No Sudden Movements. And we've worked on documentaries and on commercials. And so we've done some work with Carson Daly.
Quite a bit of work with him.
Yeah, we've
Zach
done work
Braff.
with Zach Braff, Linda Perry.
Oh, wow.
We do a lot of music.
Yeah, a lot of music
music stuff. We've
Scarlett
worked on
Johansson.
some documentaries with Buzz Bissinger, and so we're a lot of stuff. Right now, it's a lot of music,
Yeah, it's a
and
lot
we
of
enjoy
music.
it. We really love it. Joe is a musician, so his skills as a musician really come into play.
Yeah.
And how did you draw the storyline out, I guess is my question. And where did you guys start? Because obviously, yes, you have the concert as a whole, but where was it just kind of obviously much deeper than an overview, right? But what was the feeling you wanted to bring out of it?
Well, I guess we basically just started with like the 3 days and said, okay, this
Yeah.
is the 3 days, and there's Friday night, there's all day Saturday, and there's Sunday. The Sunday was a gospel program, so
Yeah.
we
Wow.
kind of did it in chronological order
Yeah.
and just kind of like shortened it down, because if we showed the whole thing, it'd be 4 or 5 hours, obviously. So we shortened it down, and that kind of became the narrative for the film, I think.
Yeah,
So-
we just follow this chronology of it.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we just
I mean, when
Yeah.
Bruce came to us and said this is going to be a concert doc, we were like, wow, this is going to be a bit of a
it's gonna
challenge.
be a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of research. Joe and I did a lot of research and did some archival, just looking at the time. We called some people in Memphis trying to get a radio DJ to help us with this, and just so we could get the verisimilitude of the film really went along with the time, and it was fantastic doing the research. I mean, we were
Research is the best part of it, really.
I love research. So, we really did want the film not only, as concert docs aren't, there's a lot to them. And we definitely wanted that to be the feel of the film.
Well, yeah, and too, and that we were like, we want this to feel like a movie that was actually made in 1969. So we didn't do any like crazy effects or anything. We just wanted to make it as if like, the way Monterey Pop was made, which was some of our favorite concert films. So we watched that one before.
That
we
was
made
an
this.
inspiration. That's
was.
that's the one they said you have to watch this, and that
Yeah.
was a big inspiration for this.
Yeah, that one in Festival by Murray Lerner was
Exactly.
another one, and we knew like this we're gonna tell a story using the music, and so the music really does tell a story. And I really honestly like. I think when you sit down and watch a movie, you don't realize how amazing the people are that are on screen. So, and that's like Lisa and Bruce are both saying, like, we're really happy that they're getting their due now. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you for bringing us this piece of history real quick. Where is the screening?
It is Treasure
screening
Mountain Inn.
Treasure Mountain Inn, and on Monday at 3:30
p.m.
and Thursday at 11 o'clock a.m.
Well, this is with Slam Dance. Thank you so much
Yeah, thank you.
again.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out Memphis 69. More coming up after the break.